Welcome back to our Financing Simplified podcast brought to you by InTouch Mortgage Solutions. Once again, I'm the host, Anthony Venuto. And on this episode, I do want to take an opportunity just to sort of go over some of the myths when it comes to social media. I know there's a lot of content out there, including our videos, right? And it's important for the viewers to understand the truth, the myths, what's actually true, what's fact, and what's not. And a lot of times when we're working with our clients, they're misled by the interest rates, especially that are being posted. And although they may be true, a lot of them are ads. So those ads may not be 100% accurate. Remember, once an ad gets rolled through, they're going to let that run its campaign course. And that interest rate may not be true to form, especially over the last little while where we've seen a lot of these fixed rate mortgages bump up. And not only that, is a lot of the advertised rates that we're seeing here are, applicable to some Canadians, not all Canadians. And that's an important distinction because an insured mortgage means you're buying with less than 20% down and you're getting a rate that is completely different than someone who's buying with more than 20% down and taking a longer amortization, right? If the purchase price is over $1 million, it is not insurable currently. So these are the things that you have to understand. And we see and hear all kinds of different stuff. And something we talked about with Claudio, we talked about, these ads for home equity lines of credits, what they are, what they're applicable for, and obviously understanding, most importantly, if your lender actually allows you to obtain a home equity line of credit. Sometimes you may not have to go to a secondary or third-party lender to get a line of credit or home equity line of credit against your property. Some of the major banks obviously offer those particular products. So it's important to understand because there are costs associated with doing that. Thinking about it from, let's say you're with a particular lender and they are in first position, but they don't have a line of credit. Well, how many lenders will want to go in second position behind that lender? And obviously what that cost is going to be. And, when we see all these particular ads for these tricks and, get all the secrets when it comes to mortgages, I find it's really something that's just a ploy to gain, someone to walk in the door. It's the old bait and switch, you know what I mean? And as I said, we've talked to a lot of these individuals because we try to do our market research to see exactly what it is that they're doing. It's just they're trying to build a base and not getting caught up in the actual, the fluff of just what they're trying to sell. Remember, like I always say this to people, I'm like, if it's too good to be true, it generally is. No one's going to give away a secret to success if it actually works. What they're trying to do is build the viewer base. They're trying to build the subscribers. They're trying to sell you a master class or an education forum where you can learn. And although this is great, because we always tell our clients is it's important to get an opinion. It's important to do your own research. Google, Instagram, all the social media outlets, they have a plethora of content that you can consume, but you have to also be careful who's producing the content. Is it an American-based social media platform person, or is it a Canadian? Because there's differences between the U.S. and the Canadian market when it comes to how mortgages are administered, how mortgages are calculated, terms, rates. All these things are major. There's over, I think, around 4,500 plus banks in the U.S. Here in Canada, we're nowhere even remotely close to that many banks. We have basically our top 5, top 6, plus all the broker-friendly banks and other alternative lenders and stuff like that in the space, but nowhere close. So understanding those options, and obviously buyer beware. I think that's the most important thing. When you see something on social media and they're advertising it, you need to ask the question is who's benefiting from this, right? Is it you, the consumer, that's calling them? Or is it the person that's trying to reel you in by saying, hey, well, you take our book, do this. But at the end of the day, you can have that conversation if you trust the mortgage professional you're working with is finding someone reputable, looking them up on Google, understanding what type of content they're producing. Are they trying to reel you in, or are they just actually trying to provide financial literacy? And I think that's the major goal here at InTouch Mortgage Solutions, and sort of what we're trying to do with our Financing Simplified podcasts and our videos is to help Canadians understand what it is that they need to understand when it comes to mortgages. Having a conversation, it doesn't hurt, it's free, right? It literally doesn't cost you anything to book a time with someone, have a conversation about your personal finances, and explaining to them what the options are, especially if they own a home. You're going to generalize things for the masses, but not everybody fits the box. And that's the most important thing. You may have situations where you're outside of that box and, you get lured in by the benefit of saying saving money on interest. Everybody wants to save money on interest. Everybody doesn't want to pay that much interest. Everybody wants to get the best mortgage rate. And it's important to filter through and understand what is being offered to you. A lot of times we're working with clients and we'll present them with all the options that you see online, right? We'll say these are the full frills products that offer you all the bells and whistles. And by that, I mean prepayment privileges. You have the ability to pay down the mortgage, increase your payments. You have the ability to refinance, restructure. Even if there is a penalty, there's no bona fide sale clauses. There's no red tape when it comes to the mortgages. Generally, what we find is a lot of these products that are being offered by these online providers are very limited. The reason that discount is being given or that discount is coming off that price is because there's something that you are giving up. If everyone in the industry is at a certain level, and then there's a couple of providers that are substantially lower than that, you have to be aware of there's certain things that you're not getting and what those things are. And a lot of times clients won't realize what is actually being forfeited until it's too late. And at that point, they're sort of pot committed into that mortgage, or they're not able to, exit because their closing is within a couple of days and they've spoken to their lawyer. Something's happened where they're not realizing that mortgage itself is not going to give them the flexibility that they so desire in regards to portability. Can you transfer that mortgage if you move? So many different things need to be discussed. And a lot of it comes down to when you're looking online, asking the questions. What questions should you be asking your mortgage professional about the mortgage product that you're about to engage in? And that is, what are your prepayment privileges? Do I have any? What are my penalties going to look like, especially if you're in a fixed rate mortgage? What type of term can I sell? Can I refinance even if I have to pay the penalty? Ask the questions about the products, understand the documentation. A lot of times clients will just come and they'll say, look, I saw this product, I want this particular product, but they're not understanding that that's a completely different product or a different rate for a completely different product that doesn't even apply to them. Like they'll look at refinancing a mortgage on a 30-year amortization, but they're asking me about a rate for a purchase that's below $1 million on a 25-year amortization, and then the qualification for those particular products, the credit score that goes in for those products. There's so much stuff out there. And when it comes to financial literacy, I think a lot of times, especially growing up, and now it's starting to come to the forefront, especially through the Ontario curriculum, through Canada curriculum, if I can say that. Obviously each province has their own curriculum basis, but we've done an actual program where we've actually gone into some of the schools and talked about financial literacy from different grade points, right? Because obviously the higher the grade, obviously the more content, the more in-depth you can go, but just understanding simple things like what interest is, what a mortgage is, how do you save, like budgets. A lot of times, if there's going to be something that you're following on social media, obviously financing is very important, but budgeting. A lot of times we'll talk to clients, even a lot of young buyers, no idea what their budget is in regards to what's coming in and what's going out, how much their utilization is on, subscription services. A lot of times I'll tell clients, I said, you want to find out exactly what you're doing. Everything's online. We're all online, paperless these days. And one thing, you should print out your visa statement. Print it out and actually go through it. Look at line by line of what you're spending, what you're not, what you can cut, where you can trim the fat on. Obviously making these conscientious choices, because a lot of times just tap, 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 we pay for things and there's no content about that, like about things that you should be doing to help keep more money in your pocket, especially now with things getting more expensive, inflation, although coming down. Definitely you need to be paying close attention to what's coming in and what's going out each and every month, and looking at your household finances. What are things that you can cut back on? If you're looking to get in touch with me or anyone at our team here at InTouch Mortgage Solutions, feel free to either follow us, subscribe to the channel, obviously, if you're on YouTube, and in our description, in our bio, you can either DM me, you can follow us, you can email us. We have a Calendly link as well. So if you want to book a time to have a conversation with us, we'll be more than happy to do that. But with technology today, it's very, very easy. Just follow us, DM us, and we'll be happy to have a conversation about what's on your mind. And we'll leave things here. And once again, thanks for watching and thanks for clicking.